What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, and I can't believe we're here with another part of this freaking story. It's just getting more insane the longer this goes on, and that's something that I never thought was gonna happen by any means. Also, just to preface, I am very ill. If you keep up with me on my social media, you will have seen I have been just horribly sick, but I'm a little hyped up on some meds. When I say meds, I mean like just a bunch of Dayquil, and I am dying to share this with you guys because I've edited all of the footage of what happened. It's just insane and you guys need to see it. So I am here hyping myself up to tell you guys this insane story. If you haven't seen the first part of this, I posted a video like last week or something. It'll pop up somewhere on the screen. It's also gonna be linked in the description, so definitely watch that before you watch this one because this is a continuation of that. There's just so much that happened in like a very short amount of time that my mind is blown. I don't want to ramble. If you're new here and want to keep up with this, definitely subscribe, and subscribe to my vlog channel because I also post like little updates on there. So since everything happened on Halloween, basically everything from the last video, I haven't felt comfortable to sit out on my balcony or go out on my patio because I have a sense of paranoia now. Whenever I hear like even a leaf drop, I look up and I'm like, oh my god, is that her looking around? It's just like I'm constantly paranoid, and it's a horrible feeling because I love my outside areas. I've never had that, and it's something that I've literally always wanted. I've always wanted an outside area to spend my time, which was a big part of why I bought this place. So it's kind of unfortunate that an old crazy lady is stopping me from sitting on my balcony. I just don't want to see her. So in the last video, I talked about, you know, mental health and that there was a possibility that she's very sick, and I just wanted to be sensitive to that. I don't think she's sick anymore. I think she's just a really, really mean old lady that has lived in her ways for a very long time, and she's just not cool with anyone else that does anything that she's not okay with. So if you do follow me on my vlog channel, my parents came into town to help me with some stuff around the house and out in my garden because my irrigation system was really messed up and my plants were dying and I didn't know how to fix it. So my dad, being the Mr. Fix-It, he wanted to come and get everything set up for me. So they made the trip over to LA and we started planting more plants. So I think it was Saturday night, my mom and I were taking out some of the trash that my dad had like gotten rid of, and we were bringing it over to the trash, and we ran into one of my neighbors in the building who actually is a police officer. So in the last video, everyone was like, oh my god, you're so stupid, like why aren't you calling the cops? I have a cop in the building. He's LAPD, like legit police officer. He actually faces her yard as well, so he's had many encounters with her for the last like 10 years that he's lived here, I think. And we asked him like, is there anything we can do? And I, you know, told him everything that's happened, and he said, you know, honestly, there's nothing they can do because it's not technically illegal. She hasn't really done anything against the law, you know, like obviously peeping Tom is a thing, but it's just like it's so minor that it's hard for police officers to do anything. He's even said that he had a call once to go over there because there was a lot of complaints about loud music, so he went over to her house. He said it was like blaring pop music, like regular, normal, everyday top 30 pop music. And so he knocked on the door and she just started yelling at him through the door saying, I'm not playing music, you can't do anything to me. And I mean, it's obvious when you go up to someone's door, you can hear where the music is coming from, and it was definitely coming from her place, but he said there was nothing he could really do. I even asked him, like, would it help to make a report? And he said, honestly, like, there's just nothing that anyone can do about it, so just one of those things. So right after we spoke to him, we went back to my backyard where my dad was doing more planting, and I set up the camera to do like a little time lapse of us putting in this massive plant. And I'm like talking to my dad, and then all of a sudden my mom goes, hey, hey, hey. So of course my mother, being the sweetest woman that she is, she can talk down anyone. She just knows how to speak to people in a very calm, reasonable way. So my mother took over, and here's 14 minutes of the 30 minutes of our conversation. I'm a blogger.
Hello? Hello? Oh. What are you doing? Okay, but it's on Tara's property, so you can't touch it.
It's on what?
It's on her property. You can't touch it.
I can touch anything I want.
Actually, you
sweetheart.
can't.
That's illegal.
You have put this
It's
on
okay. She's
my board.
No, it's on the cement.
If you
Why
drilled
is it bothering you?
Sweetheart.
No, don't call me sweetheart. Why is it bothering you?
Because I don't like the light.
It's on her property.
It's not, so it's not your property.
Well,
It's
I'm
my
her mother.
property.
That's your mother?
This
Yes,
is my
I'm her
mom.
mother.
All right, now listen, sweetheart.
Don't call me sweetheart, please.
I don't know your name, so I call you.
Well, okay,
sweetheart.
what's your name? I'm Marcy.
Marcy?
Yes.
When this was built,
Yes.
there's 2 layers of 2x4s. you had to go into the 2x4s because you would need a drill to drill this into the cement. I would appreciate it if you would have put it in the cement, but you see, your daughter is a new buyer. She's very excited. She's a young girl.
Yes.
And she only thinks about herself.
How?
Actually,
How?
Hold on.
She
Actually,
doesn't think
you
about
don't know her.
others.
You actually don't know her. But let me ask you something.
No, I do not know her.
So
I
you
know
took-
her actions.
No. You.
I know her actions.
Okay. Well, your actions aren't actually much better, right?
We're not saying if one action is better than another.
Well, actually, we are because you're accusing
all right,
her.
I'm telling you she is a selfish person.
How?
Because
What have I
she
done?
did not
What's
act.
selfish?
Okay.
I don't have to ask you what to do in my property.
And first of all, why?
You know, she could have gone to the association and
She
asked them.
has, and it's okay.
They don't know anything.
Well,
They
you just-
are
You
not-
just told me to ask them, though. You-
I don't wanna
Listen,
yell.
at the
I
end of-
don't
at the- you know
want
what?
to yell.
You mind your own business.
I
And
do
she
mind
will-
my own
no,
business,
you're
but
not.
when I get floodlights that go into this unit, she's not gonna like it.
When
I
you-
try to avoid that.
When you get what?
Floodlights.
Floodlights.
You know, very large lights that are gonna go directly into her unit.
Absolutely not.
Well, you see.
You
say
can't
not.
shine light in my home.
Wait a second. Are
You
these
see, you say
are
not.
these floodlights?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
How are they bothering you?
I already told you that.
No, they're not. Are they shining in
They
your?
are awful. She thinks she's in an Italian restaurant in Rome.
No, I think I'm in my own home, and I can do what I want in my own home, and you can do what you want in your own
See
home.
what? She's very infantile. She's excited. Listen, I know what first-time buyers are like. I know it. I used to be in the business. I know it.
Excuse me, I am her mother, and
So big
we
deal.
are
I'm a mother,
experienced.
too.
We are experienced homeowners, and she is entitled to do whatever she likes in her.
No, she's
Yes, she
doing it
is.
for effect because she lives in that world.
You know what?
What's wrong with that world?
Okay, listen.
Yes, Marcy.
Nobody wants to have bad blood with neighbors. Everybody wants to get along, okay?
I hate this. This is till 3 o'clock in the morning.
But listen, I'm sorry that this bothers you so much. Sometimes people have to, compromise, and she will turn it off at a reasonable hour.
What is a reasonable hour, my dear Marcy?
I don't know, but you tell me, what's a reasonable hour?
9 o'clock?
Well, that might be a little, what happens if she has company over and she wants to sit out here?
Well, I can't help it
If you
she
had
has
company in your backyard, wouldn't you want the lights on until they left?
Marcy, that is a bad argument.
Why?
You know, you're just doing one against the
No,
other.
no.
It is
Listen,
not
she's a young
negotiating.
girl.
You may think you're a great negotiator, but you started off okay when you said we'll beat things for reasonable. It was a good approach, and then it died.
But what are you doing that's reasonable?
I always hear you complaining. I don't
You know,
really see.
Marcy, I want to say something.
Yes.
She likes the effect. She's
Yes,
very
of course.
excited.
I like to have lights. What's wrong with that?
She wants to be able to enjoy her patio.
But I
At
think
night?
she also wants to be able not to have a bad relationship.
Of course, I don't want to. I've never wanted to have a bad relationship with you. I've asked
She
you,
doesn't know how to go about it.
but because you've never told me what I've done wrong, so I haven't been able to
Well,
improve.
because if you don't see it, I can't put ideas into your head.
It's not ideal.
Because I'm having.
Part of it.
I have to tell you that my name is Tara, by the way. I haven't introduced myself.
Every day, I know exactly. The downstairs goes on, and one over there, one light over there.
So, do you think that I should have no lights on ever?
I don't, because you see, I grew up as a conservative.
You know what? I understand where you're coming from, but you know what? People have to accept other people's way of living, and that's just the way the world is. If everybody's
You
fighting,
know what? Let me tell you, Marcy, this is a basement apartment. I've always said that. And it's a lovely apartment. I think the kitchen is beautiful. It's really
Thank
quite
you.
lovely.
Thank you.
And you see, there's that other light on, and then that goes off at a certain time. I know what goes on. You ask Most of the people don't live here very well. But I don't like the light. It is so annoying to me, I can't tell you. So the only thing I can do is get lights, and you see how it feels.
But shining lights into my home is completely different than me having lights in my backyard, you know?
Like the effect, you're a decorator.
Yeah.
You know how women are. We like it.
Yes. And this is something that I have always wanted my entire life. And, you know, as you know, it's my first time home.
I realize what I'm dealing with. Believe me, I know the emotion.
So you know what? How about we sort of work on a compromise? If she's not back here, she will have them off. But if she's back here,
Well, what do you mean? She's here every night.
Well, outside, you know, the outside
if
lights.
she's not sitting outside with people, she'll have them off.
Oh, so you're planning on having parties?
Not parties, but, you know, some friends over sometimes for dinner and stuff.
I understand.
Okay, so how about that? How is that for a compromise? If
When she has guests, I think that's fine.
okay, you know, there might be the odd night or two that she wants to sit out here with her boyfriend or whatever, and most likely won't be every night, but there might be the odd night, and if
I
that
know she didn't have it on for about a week or more than a week. So I thought she's out of town.
she was out of town.
See, I know because you ask, I watch these apartments. No one is coming to rob you.
Oh, I think that's fantastic.
On my street, I watch everyone. I see a car, I am out there.
I think that's amazing, and I think that's Tara's very lucky that she has somebody watching her place. She doesn't want to upset you, and you know she doesn't want to be upset. So if somehow
No, I don't think she does. I think she feels a little insecure maybe at night.
Well, you know, I'm a girl, I'm young, I live by myself.
I understand that. And I tell you, you know, I've been alone for 42 years.
Right.
that's a long time.
I haven't lost, you know, compassion for that. But, and I know she'll be safe. But you ask, I know anyone that comes in this house, I'm out here. So I'm watching all the time.
Okay, that's good.
You have the benefit of having the huge patio.
Exactly.
Which is why she likes to be out here.
And have the lights and have, you know, a nice
Yeah, but
oasis.
The lights have got to go.
I can't take the lights down. I'm sorry. It's something I've wanted for so many years, and I don't mean to disturb you by any means. It's really not my intention. But this has like literally been a dream of mine for 10 years. So
Well, let's see if you can modify your dream, because it's more important that you grow up than your dream of lights.
well, you know, I think I can have both.
Well, there's another one. She wants to have both. I hear these women now. I don't know. I'm going to have both.
Well, what's wrong with having a dream?
There's nothing wrong with a dream, but you cannot live in a dream. You have to grow up.
But I feel like I'm
But you
pretty
know
grown
what?
up.
She is growing up, and she's learning along the way. And
Mama, don't put words in her mouth.
I'm not putting words in her
Mama,
mouth.
let her talk.
I personally think that these lights are very small. I don't even know how you can see them from your home.
I wish you'd come to my house and see how.
I actually would love to see how bright they are from your home.
Yeah, it's very bright. But you understand, Terry, everything
Tara.
is subjective. You love the lights.
Yes.
And you don't think that they're hurtful. But you know, besides environmental things, like noise, lights are very disturbing.
Well-
I mean, I remember the first time I went into Las Vegas and all those lights were there. I said to my husband, get me out of here, because it is very bright and lights are disturbing.
But lights are a part of life. You know, people need them to see and to guide them and maybe to add a little bit
I
of...
walk through my house at night and I'm up all night long. And let me tell you something, I never put a light on. I know where everything is.
Well, honestly, props to you. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, because you just moved in, you don't know what things are. And I know how to navigate and get into my bathroom. Because if you don't test yourself, how are you going to know what you're capable of?
You know, I see your point 100%, but when it comes to moving around my home, I'm really okay with seeing things.
Well, because you grew up that way. You're not the only one. It's your generation. I mean, there's so many things
Oh,
I
hi
can
there.
tell about you.
It's my father.
Hi.
Things I can tell about you, and I knew that.
Well, you're very, smart lady, I could see.
I'm a clinical psychiatrist, nurse, RN.
Wow.
Wow.
So I've done all of these things. I took care of people that were going to commit suicide. I know
Wow.
my way around people.
Then how come you're making me feel so sad about just wanting to have a couple lights up?
I changed my goal.
To make me sad?
Well,
I have no cameras. I have none of that. I know how to take care of myself.
I know,
learned.
but she's a young girl and she lives on her
I
own.
was young too.
But her family doesn't live here, so for us, it gives us peace of mind.
Marcy, I never had a family. I take care of myself.
And she takes care of herself too, She.
All right, let her learn. She will learn.
Well,
But
you know
if
what?
anyone wants to make everything peaches and cream for her, she's never going to learn.
Listen,
I bought this place on my own. I'm not a teenager like you might assume, but I worked hard and I have grown.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was expensive.
I
thought
worked
maybe
for-
You were a teacher because you seem to be home in the late afternoon.
Because I work from home. I've never ever wanted to have any issues with anyone living around me. So when I first moved in and all of a sudden my lights were coming down, I just wish there was more communication. And even last week or 2 weeks ago when we, had that conversation, I felt unsafe in my home. And it's not that I feel like you are going to hurt me or anything like that, but I felt an invasion of privacy. And while I, so appreciate the fact that you're looking out for everyone in the building and
Well, you see, you're a young girl. You did quite a lot in your life.
Yes.
You got the money.
I'm obviously glad we can have this conversation. I've never wanted to do anything to upset you
Well,
in
I'm
my
glad
home.
to hear that.
Of course. I mean, it's never been my intention at all. So, right off the bat, when I felt aggression from you, it was surprising because I just didn't know that the lights inside bother you because,
my
you never
God,
told
it's
me. And obviously people live different lives. I live a life where I'm just moving in, I like to see around my place, and I totally commend you for not having to use lights. That's incredible. Great for the environment.
Come to my house now. I'll keep that kitchen light on for a while,
Yeah.
and then I shut it off. And you'll see me 2, 3 in the morning. I'll go and I'll eat.
Yeah.
Or I listen to the radio. I don't even have Terry. I don't even have a television.
Really?
No, I'm a radio person.
Wow.
So I also go by hearing. Hearing is a big thing for me.
Okay. Going forward, I really hope we can have a better relationship. I hope that, if I have the lights on occasionally when I come outside, because sometimes I'd like to eat dinner out here and enjoy the space. I hope that'll be okay. My lights upstairs usually go off around 11 o'clock. That's when I go to sleep.
I didn't even think that maybe you were even using it.
Yeah, so I actually have everything on an automatic timer. So everything goes off at a certain time in the night. So I can turn these off earlier if that's better for you. But the ones inside, I usually turn off around 11.
No, that's fine.
So, after that happened in real time, so the last 5 minutes of it actually didn't get recorded because my phone died, but the conversation ended with her wishing my parents a good flight home, or just my mom because she didn't acknowledge my dad, and saying how she's so happy that we got to talk about this. So we went inside and we were feeling really good about it. We were like, wow, I can't believe this. I was like, thank you, Mom, you solved all my problems. But obviously I edited all the footage while I was sick in bed, not able to do anything. And I no longer feel that way after looking at how that conversation went. It's really easy in the moment to forget about the things that were said at the beginning of the conversation when the end of the conversation seems resolved. But looking back, it's just like my mom tried everything to reason with her. And even though my tone is very different than my mother's tone, I just think she's freaking psycho. I just cannot stand that she is upset about my twinkly lights. What the fuck? And dare it say floodlights? What kind of threat is that? Twinkle lights, floodlights directed into my home. Very different things. So basically, it just bothers me looking back. I even said I will turn my lights off early. Not once did this woman look at her own actions and apologize, or at least acknowledge them. At least acknowledge that she harassed me and made me feel so uncomfortable in my home, even after I told her. And the fact that this woman dares to say that she helps people that are on the verge of committing suicide and that she's good around people. It's like, what are you making me feel? How are you making me feel at all good in my own home? And she's acknowledging that I'm a first-time homeowner. Like, give me like a second to breathe. I mean, it's just absurd. And at this point, I don't feel bad for her anymore because the woman she's very like with it. She's not sick at all. She's just a fucking rude person. I'm very upset by it. Like, watching that footage and watching her tell my mom that I'm a selfish person, like, ew, how dare, like, what place does she think she's in that she can tell my mom that I'm a selfish person? Like, as if my mom doesn't know me. That's just not right. Like, that's really messed up. And she doesn't even know me. And she acknowledged she doesn't know me, but she knows my actions, which are putting lights on. And also, I would like to say, my lights do not go off at 3 in the morning. And I know this for a fact because my lights are all on an automatic timer. I have it all on an app on my phone. They use very, very little electricity, and so they're on a timer, and it doesn't bother me that my upstairs light is on if my downstairs lights are on as well. And I know that they automatically go off at 2 in the morning. But every night when I go to sleep, which is around 11 or 11:30, maybe 12:30 on a weekend, or like on the very odd occasion where I'm out really late, I click good night on my app and they go off. So my lights everywhere are typically off around 11:30 latest. I don't know what she's talking about, 3 in the morning. But like, why is she looking at my home at 3 in the morning? Apparently she's up at all hours, like she says, and she has no lights on ever. I don't know. I just don't know why she thinks she can control what's going on in my home, and it's very upsetting to me. So as I said, we left that conversation feeling pretty good about it. We were like, okay, cool, everything's gonna be Gucci and chill, and we never have a problem again. The next day comes along. My mom goes to the mall while my dad and I were getting some work things done. And it's pretty close to my home, so you can walk there. So on her way back, she happened to take the route where she passes the witch's house. Unbelievable. And so as the witch said, also I don't feel bad calling her witch anymore. She's such a, put a B in for W. That's what I think of her. She saw her standing outside because, as she said to us, that she goes out looking at every single car that goes by. And I've seen her do that. Like, I've literally seen her look inside of cars on the road, which is just such an invasion of privacy. Like, what are you doing? And like, she acknowledges that she looks into everyone's home and she watches everybody at all times and that she knows everyone that's inside at all times. Like, it's freaking insane. Anyways, my mother decides to go over there. Being the woman that she is, she's just so damn friendly.